it feels strange to act as if nothing is going on right now. And that's why this video will focus on providing some useful and practical tips that you can start doing today. Welcome to the New Zero. I'm Zach, and I want to start by saying that this is a tough time for everyone. It's at these moments where we need to rely on one another. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the weekly videos that I am sharing. Before I share the tips, let's look at something that impacts most of you watching right now: the circle of concern and the circle of influence. I've spoken about it in a couple of previous videos, but I feel as though this is something that will resonate with most of you watching. In times like these, it's really easy for our circle of concern to expand like crazy. This can lead to a feeling of endless anxiety and a sense that you've lost control over the world around you. Your circle of influence is where you want to focus most of your efforts, and these are things that are directly within your control. If you aren't fully aware of what the circle of concern is, I'm going to give you a couple of examples, or a few examples actually, on what the circle of concern is. This list is not limited to what I mentioned. There is a lot more that you can add to it. But in this global pandemic, some of the things that can fall under your circle of concern are things such as who's going to come up with the next vaccine, or maybe it's we need more beds or ICU beds in our hospitals. The government needs to fund the healthcare system so that it's a lot more robust. Or you read the 400 articles on the same thing from different news outlets. All of these things don't actually help the situation, but they exacerbate or make things worse than what they already are. And this is how you can increase those levels of anxiety. A couple of weeks ago, I heard the term INFODEMIC. And I think now I'm starting to grasp what that term meant. Now, this is where you come into the picture. What I'm about to share with you is within your direct circle of influence, and you can immediately make an impact. The first one is practice social distancing. You've probably heard this in the news multiple times, but every time I go outside and I see what's going on, people are failing to take the advice of the medical professionals. Social distancing means that you need to keep a safe distance between you and other people. What they've deemed to be a safe distance is 1.5 meters or 6 feet. And this is not always practical. I mean, if you go to the supermarket, sometimes it's practically impossible to keep that distance. But what they're saying is try and do it wherever you can and wherever it is actually practical to do it. The next one is stay home. You don't have to go out for dinner. In this climate that we live in right now, the situation is so volatile that you don't know what is happening around you. There is the term that they use, which is the silent spreaders, or the people that are asymptomatic, that aren't actually experiencing symptoms but still carry COVID-19. And this makes it so much scarier to just walk around as if nothing is going on. If you want to do your exercise, make sure that you're out in an open space and avoid the gyms. But practical things that you can do today are just avoiding unnecessary interactions or going outside. Just stay home and just lay low for the time being. The situation right now is so unpredictable that day by day things are changing around the world. New policies and laws are being created overnight. I mean, it's never been such an uncertain time. When you go to sleep at night and you wake up the next morning, anything could happen. But I think the safest thing is just stay in your homes for as long as you can. Of course, people do have work and commitments that they have to stick to, but wherever it's practical, stay home. Last week, I demonstrated the correct procedure on how to wash your hands, and this was based on the advice from the World Health Organization. That is another tip that you can take advantage of and share with all of your friends and family to make sure that good hand hygiene is widely practiced in your community. Educate those around you. You don't need to tell them what to do, but you need to lead by example. If someone puts their hand out to shake your hand, just politely decline and say that I don't think this is the best time to do that. This could lead to a domino effect where people start to actually look at you as the role model for what is happening around the world. And this is just in your community, but it can start to cascade out into different areas. And Just as quickly as the virus spreads, best practices need to spread in that same manner. Start using technology around you. Start taking advantage of video calling and messaging your loved ones, because we are moving into a time where you may be away from the people that matter the most to you for a significant period of time. If you haven't seen your friends for 3 weeks, simply shoot them a text, maybe send them a video call, or just connect with people as much as you can, because I think even though the virus has some devastating impacts, the social distancing and the disconnections that you can experience as a result of this can be quite profound. In future videos, I'm going to try and cover some of the things that you can do in the house if you are in lockdown, or you've self-isolated, or you're in quarantine. Whatever it is that's forced you to stay in the house, future videos will talk about what you can do in those times. If I can ask you for just one thing, it would be to share this video with just one group of friends on any social media platform. If you've got a group chat on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or Instagram, whatever app that you use, just share it with one group, and hopefully they can benefit from some of the tips and advice from this video.